Want to scale your martial arts school to $100,000 per month. In this video, I'm going to talk about the biggest factor in you getting there. Now, it's not getting more leads. It's not spending more money on ads. It's not even increasing your closing rates. The number one factor in scaling to $100,000 per month faster is your mindset. Now, after working with over 350 martial arts schools, scaling our own martial arts school, Champs Academy, from 0 to 100K a month in just 4 years, helping friends like Andrew from All Star Martial Arts scale from 25K to hitting his first $200,000 a month last month. Even new school owners like Adam from WK Taekwondo go from just opening his school 6 months ago to already hitting $27,000 per month. I'm gonna give you the exact blueprint that you need in order to scale much faster. I'm gonna go over the exact mindset that you need to scale fast. So number one is just thinking bigger. Most people view $100,000 per month as impossible in our industry, or they view it as this huge number that's just very far out of reach. And when you make it as this big thing in your head, the chances of you actually getting there is gonna be substantially lower. So one of the first things that you can do to increase the chances of you getting there is to start consuming more data points of numbers much larger than $100,000 per month. So I remember at our school, Champs Academy, thinking about the number $100,000 per month, and I was like, man, that seems impossible. And it was such a big number for me that I'm like, oh, once I get there, like I basically made it in life. You know, we beat the game. It's all over. But for me, it was tough. Like we were growing much slower than we should have been, just because I made it such a big thing. And then what I started doing over time is I started networking with people who were far ahead of us. In many different industries as well, but you know, even some martial arts school owners, people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, if not millions of dollars per month. And at first, it just completely blew my mind being around people of that level. Like, you know, $100,000 a month is one thing, but imagine making $1 million per month. And some of these people not even in revenue and profit. When I was around those types of business owners and just absorbing the way that they think and seeing the lifestyles that they live, you know, having chefs and multiple maids and doctors that come to them and a fleet of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces, I'm like, man, if they're doing this at $1 million a month, like there's no reason why I can't get to 1/10 of that, 100K a month. And as I consume those data points and or around those people for longer, $100,000 per month started to become not as big of a thing for me. If anything, I view it as a small number, because even when I got to $100,000 per month, I'd still be a very small business compared to all these people that I'm around. As soon as I started thinking that way and stopped viewing $100,000 per month as this, you know, big grand number, I started taking actions towards getting there much faster. I was just scaling faster. I was trying to push myself to get there faster. I was spending more money on ads, and I was just taking massive action, and it helped me out a lot. The other way I can explain this is it's like thinking becoming a black belt is impossible, right? If you think it's impossible or it's so out of reach, like the chances of you getting there is very low. Or even another way to put it, it's like thinking becoming a champion in your martial arts is impossible, like competing at ADCC or competing at Worlds for those of you who do jiu-jitsu, or for those of you who do taekwondo or karate, competing at PANS or competing at some sort of like world championship tournaments. If you view that as absolutely impossible, you're never gonna get there. So it's the same thing when it comes to your business and your numbers. Start, you know, networking with people, and it doesn't have to be in our industry, but just in general, people who are far ahead of you, who are not $100,000 per month. Look for people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, if not millions of dollars per month. For me, you know, I've paid to get into like different masterminds and stuff where a lot of these people would congregate and, you know, share business ideas and skills and, you know, that sort of learning lessons and that sort of stuff. For you, it could even be as simple as following the right types of people on social media. You know, curating your social media feeds to follow a lot of these people making millions of dollars, and even, looking at certain pages like Traded VC where companies are getting bought every single day for millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. And sometimes there's people in their early 20s selling companies for tens of millions of dollars. So it's like, hey, if these people can make this much money at such a young age, like why can't I make a measly $100,000 per month with my martial arts school? Also, if you look at it, $100,000 per month really is not a lot of money. It's gross $1.2 million per year. At a profit margin of, let's say, 30%, you're making $360,000 in profit per year. 30K a month. It's great and everything, but you have to pay taxes on that. You have your lifestyle costs and everything. Like, you're making the same as maybe, some doctors and stuff like that. It's not like you're extremely rich, even at $100,000 per month. Number 2 is stop making excuses. So many business owners will make excuses whenever something does not go their way in business. For example, a student quits, this student was an idiot, or, this family, they weren't a good fit, or, there's nothing I could have done, or we're just getting a lot of cancellations lately because we're getting the wrong types of students signing up at our school. That is a wrong mindset to have, and excuses only give yourself a reason to fail. So if you want to be in the position you're in right now forever, go ahead, make excuses. You're never going to be successful. But if you want to break past where you are and really start growing your business and making serious money, then you always have to point the fingers back at yourself and ask yourself, how can I get better? Whenever anything goes wrong in your business, even if it wasn't your fault, maybe a family was moving away, or maybe an instructor just, messed up something and caused an issue at your school, always point the fingers back at yourself. When that family moved, you want to think, okay, well, is there anything I could have done to serve them better while they were here? If the instructor messes something up, you have to point the fingers back at yourself and be like, okay, maybe my systems aren't tight enough. Let me look at the system that I've given to that instructor and see where the holes are, and let me work on refining it. So whenever anything goes wrong in your business, always ask yourself what you could have done better. And if you change your mindset from making excuses to pointing the fingers back at yourself, what happens? Well, now everything that happens in your business and in your life is now within your control. Because the problem is when you make excuses for things, you're basically saying, oh, that's not in my control. There's nothing I can do about it. And if there's nothing you can do about it, then your situation is not going to change. Doing the same things and expecting different results is a definition of insanity. So making excuses will just cause you to continue to take the same actions, which means that you'll be stuck in the same situation forever. Whereas as soon as you point the fingers back at yourself, now you're taking control of what's happening. You can start to, actually work on what are the things that you need to do to improve your situation and move your business forward. Next is constant growth. So this kind of feeds off my last point of not making excuses, but the way you want to think about it is if you are not where you want to be in business right now, it simply means you're just not good enough. And that might sound harsh, but it's the harsh truth. If you had the skill set of $1 billion entrepreneur right now, your martial arts, you would have like hundreds of martial arts schools and be making millions of dollars per month in profit and just a complete mogul. But the reason why you're not there right now is you just don't have the skill sets to run business of that level. And that's completely okay. As long as you accept your current situation and you put your ego aside and you don't think, oh, I'm the best in the entire city or industry, like I can't get any better. As long as you put that aside and you approach it from a growth mindset, you can work on becoming the person you need to be in order to get the things that you want to out of your business and out of your life. Your business is a reflection of you. So the mindset that you want to have is constantly thinking, what skill sets do I need to acquire in order to have a business of X size, whether that's 100K a month or maybe even larger than that. And if you want to be more specific, you can look at your business right now. And like we've talked about in other videos, there's always one key constraint in your business that's preventing you from growing faster. And sometimes there's multiple things, but there's always one thing that's the largest constraint. So if retention is your constraint right now, you're having too many students quitting every month, maybe you have a 5% plus churn rate, and you need to get that down to a 3% so you can grow faster, then you want to ask yourself questions like, okay, can I work work on being a better leader for my team? If the answer is yes, what do I need to do to become a better leader? Am I gonna read some leadership books? Am I gonna watch some YouTube videos on it? Am I gonna audit myself? Am I gonna ask people for feedback? Maybe it's systems. Maybe your instructors are constantly making mistakes in your business, but you don't actually have any systems in place. And maybe you think you have systems, but do you actually have it documented to a T, like perfectly, like step by step and completely dumbed down so anyone could follow these systems? Like, do you have McDonald's level systems where it doesn't matter where you go in the world, they'll make your burger the exact same? If not, maybe you gotta, spend some time every single day just working on your systems and being better at creating systems and refining them over time. Maybe it's curriculum. Maybe you think that your curriculum is amazing, but you're just having a ton of students quitting within the first couple months. So you need to rethink your curriculum and how you can optimize it so that students are progressing quicker, or they're stacking wins faster, or you just make your program more exciting for those new students coming in so that they want to continue with it for the long run. So think about what skill sets you need to acquire, and you can base that on what the main constraint is in your business right now, and then spend your free time acquiring those skill sets. Do whatever you need to do, whether it's reading books or just spending time working on that specific thing, or going to people who are further ahead of you in business and seeking advice from them. If you have the mindset of constantly thinking, okay, what skills do I need to acquire, or what skills do I need to refine to get to where I want to be, then you're just going to be improving a little bit every single day. And if you look back a couple months from now, or even a couple years from now, you're going to be on a completely different level. The you even a year from now who's improving every single day versus you where you currently are right now, the you from a year from now would completely wipe the floor with you from today. That's a mindset you want to have, is just work on becoming that person. The next thing is maximizing the time that you work on your business and not in your business. So a lot of you might be working hard, but you're not working hard on the right things, because if you were, your business would be growing much faster. So just because you're teaching classes and just hanging out at the school and answering emails or placing orders or speaking with parents doesn't necessarily mean you're working on the right things to move your business forward faster. Where your business gets moved forward faster is working on the business. When I went to Alex Hormozi's workshop in Vegas, he talked about the difference between manager time and maker time. So manager time is basically things that you need to do to keep the business running, like teaching classes or meetings or answering emails, just a lot of the tedious stuff. It's not necessarily gonna move your business forward, but it's just what you have to do to keep the lights on. Maker time is the things that actually improve your business over time. So it's filming ads, or creating new systems, working on new curriculum, thinking of new staff training processes, improving your sales processes. So the business owners who move forward the fastest are the ones who maximize their maker time. Just because you and the next business owner are both working even 60, 80 hours a week, you guys could be getting substantially different results just based on what you're working on. If you're, let's say 60 hours a week is spent purely on manager time, just running the school and teaching classes and stuff like that, and let's say even half of their time is spent on maker time, they're gonna completely destroy you when it comes to business. So you need to make sure that you're scheduling time every day to work on your maker time, like the big things that are gonna move your business forward faster. Going back to the last point, let's say retention is your main constraint right now, and out of all the things you could do with retention, let's say you identified that the number one thing that needs to be worked on is your curriculum. Well, what you would do is schedule at least 2 to 4 hours a day at the bare minimum to work on your curriculum every single day until it's refined and it's where it needs to be. And that's how you want to constantly approach things. If getting more students is your main constraint, you spend time every day creating ads, putting out social media posts, planning grassroots marketing events, planning internal promotions, and you just keep doing that until that constraint is solved. So just make sure, that you have the mindset of constantly thinking, how can I maximize that maker time? And the last thing that's huge factor in you hitting $100,000 per month is you being a larger risk taker. I talk to you guys every single day. We probably have like some weeks we have 10, 20 plus martial arts schools from, you know, around the world reaching out to us to inquire about wanting to partner with us. And I can't tell you how many of you are like, oh, look, spending $1,000 a month is a lot of money. I don't even know if I can even do that. And I'm like, you're worried about spending like at the bare minimum $1,000 per month, like, and you own a business and you want to make $100,000 per month and you're scared to spend $1,000 per month. Meanwhile, a lot of these people are going out to nice dinners. You check their social medias, they're going on vacations often, they just bought a new car, they're spending all this money on lifestyle stuff, but they're too scared to make a even measly couple $1,000 per month investment into their own businesses. And those people, I'm sorry, you're just not going to get anywhere in business. Like, you know, maybe you get to a $40,000-$50,000 per month at the bare maximum, but you're never going to accomplish anything substantial in your business because you don't believe in yourself. That's what it comes down to. If you're not willing to take those calculated risks and, you know, invest money back into your business to get to where you want to be, it just means you don't believe in your business enough. Like for me, I can't tell you, like in the first couple of years, I went into like debt and stuff like that, just to like thousands and thousands of dollars, put on credit cards, whatever I needed to do, because I believed in myself so much and I knew that this bet in myself would pay off. And I mean, it has like a millionfold. Even like some of our best performing clients, like one of our clients, Kevin, he was telling me a story recently. He was at about 9K a month in November. And he told me, you know, at the time, and for those of you who don't know, like to work with Kin, our regular price is $5,000 per month plus a 10% revenue share on students we generate schools. Plus you have to pay for your ad spend on top of that. So we are by far the most expensive in our industry. There's a clear reason why. I mean, if you look at our results versus anyone else's, you just can't be compared. Like we're generating hundreds of thousands per month for martial arts schools. But anyways, how it works is the first 3 months to work with us is $3,500 per month plus the ad spend. So usually it's about a total investment of $5,000 between the retainer and ad spend. And Kevin was only at $9,000 per month at the time. But you know, Kevin saw all of our case studies. He knew that the results spoke for itself. He just had to find a way to make the investment. So Kevin went and took out a very risky, like one of those like loan shark loans where it's like extremely high interest rates. And if he didn't pay it off within a certain time, he would have been completely screwed. But I don't advise all of you guys to do this. This is like next level risk taking. But he believed in himself so much. And he also knew like we were the ones to grow his business just with all the inevitable proof that we have, that he went and did that and made that bet. And what happened, we're in May now of 2025. So from November till May, he went from 9K a month to I think he's around $25,000 per month now. So like 9, 18, like he's almost tripled his monthly revenue in that short of a time by placing that bet. And of course he paid off the loan. Obviously, even what he pays us in his ad spend, we've generated him an extra, what is that, like $16,000 per month. So we've paid for ourselves and the ad spend and put a bunch of extra profit in his pocket. It's only the first like 5-6 months. Like he's just gonna be taking money in the years to come. But that's what I mean. On the other hand, sometimes I'll speak with school owners who are at like 50, 60K a month and they can't even fathom spending like $2,000 per month, let alone like our regular fees. And I'm like, how are you guys like still in business when you're scared to make that small of an investment into yourselves? For me at Kin, I'm only 25 years old. There's some points where I was spending $15,000, $20,000 per month just on various, you know, coaching from, you know, different, to get into these mastermind groups with people who are making millions of dollars per month. Last summer, me and Andrew from All Star Martial Arts, who just hit 200K last month, we both spent like 100K each between Alex Hormozi's 3 workshops to learn from Alex Hormozi, who at his companies, he's doing like $18 million per month. Even on my own ads, like many months, I'm spending $10,000 to $20,000 per month on my ads, right? A lot of people, they view that as like just absolutely insane. But I've just always had that strong belief that I'm happy to put the money back into my business and to take those risks, because I know how much money I want to make. I know what my goals are, and I won't blink twice about making those investments in myself. And making those investments, going back to one of the earlier points, learning from Alex Hormozi himself, like someone who's worth almost $1 billion, or being around all these people making millions of dollars per month. Making these investments helps me acquire the skill sets that I need to get to that level myself. Again, the big thing you need to work on if you're not a risk taker right now is just helping yourself overcome those limiting beliefs. You know, maybe it's just pulling the trigger on something that you were considering and just saying, hey, screw it. I believe in myself, and, you know, I'm gonna make this, investment into my own business. Whether it's working with someone like us, or maybe it's just like new mats for your school. Maybe it's renovations for your school. Maybe it's hiring a new instructor. Maybe it's just spending more on ads this month. Whatever it may be, just making those investments in yourself and helping yourself become more of like a calculated risk taker. So those are the big mindset tweaks that you need to hit $100,000 per month. And look, I didn't go soft on you guys today because it's a lot of hard work to, be $1 million plus per year business. It doesn't come easy. You're not gonna get there if you're soft. You need to have a bulletproof mindset and thick skin if you want to get to that level. The good news is these skills, it's not impossible for you to learn. You're just gonna have to go in deep and just do some inner learning or findings to figure out what are the limiting beliefs for you that's holding you back from currently doing these things, and what are the shifts you need to make to help yourself overcome these limiting beliefs so that you can have these core fundamental wealth building mindset tweaks going forward that you need to grow extremely faster. And what happens on the other side of you growing yourself as a person and as an entrepreneur and acquiring these mindset, you're going to be making millions and millions of dollars, and you're going to change your family's life forever. Sometimes it might sound harsh, but you almost have to kill off like the person you are now in order to become that next person, in order to get what you want out of life. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Those are the main mindset tweaks that I see in the most successful business owners that we work with, along with people that I personally get mentored from as well, in order to grow as fast as possible. So as always, if you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment if you guys have any questions, and I will see you in the next one.